Hi, I'm Liv, and today we're going to be doing a video that I'm really excited for, and this is reading books that I have been putting off for ages. Like, these are books that have been on my shelf for ages or on my Kindle for ages and I just don't look at, and I'm like, oh, I'll read that another time. Today, this video, I'm going to be reading them. I've started two already. I want to do like a tandem read because these two books are very different and one of them is going to break my heart. I already know it. So the first one I've started is In Memoriam by Alice Wynne, and this is the book. It is a World War One historical fiction, and it is a gay romance as well, and it's going to be so bittersweet, I already know. So I'm going to update you on that in a second. And the second book I've got, Five Survive by Holly Jackson, which I've got a couple pages into it as well. This book, I've only read about 2 chapters, so I think I'm at page 15 or page 18. I'm about to start chapter 3, and it's okay so far. Nothing's really happened much. We're really setting the scene. In Memoriam, however, I am at page 95. I've really been enjoying this. I started it yesterday and I was like, I'm gonna get like 10 pages in. 95 pages. So this book, we've got our main 2 characters. We've got Gaunt, I think it's Gaunt, and then we've got Elwood. Elle and Gaunt they're in love with each other. They're 2 guys and they were in boarding school together. And in boarding school, in this book, all the guys kind of have unspoken relationships with each other, even though it's not allowed because 1913 at this point. So they've enlisted in the army, and first of all it was Gaunt because his family are German and people think that he is going to be a German spy. And so he's trying to go in the army to prove to everybody that his family are loyal to England. We've got Ellie, who is Elwood. He wants to go see Gaunt. He wants to see that he's okay. And he can't live with the fact that he's in boarding school, doing school, and Gaunt is on the front lines, almost losing his life every single day. So he enlists, and he's just got to the army now. He's in the same place that Gaunt is. He managed to get in the same regiment, and it is written so well. I want to firstly say the romance is written so well. A romance that is clearly talking about a forbidden love, and it's very much is written as if it was written back then. The language used and also the war scenes are written amazing. I can't even put it into words how amazing they are. I mean, they're written in a way that's, again, feels like the time. Like, it really feels like it's written at the time, especially when the descriptions of like the mud and the smells, and it's not glorified in any way. It's really like the nitty gritty stuff of like the horrible things that people went through. We've also had just brutal realities of like friends being killed, and just the way that we've been told is so like, this person's dead, and it's like, we were talking to them a chapter ago, what the hell. It's written really well, and I don't know why I've been putting it off for so long because I'm really enjoying it. It's like something, there's nothing I've read that really feels like this language. Like, the writing style is so good. 95 next out of 382. I would like to read another 100 pages today maybe, and I'm just really enjoying it. It's really fun, but the first 25 pages I was already emotional, so just wanted to say that. There are letters, there are newspapers, and then we get both perspectives of Gaunt and Elwood, so there's loads happening in it. It's really good. Overdue an update. I have been reading In Memoriam. Really is like my main focus recently, and I am enjoying it. Semi enjoying it. Originally I thought that this book was so good, and my thoughts were that it was so real with the way that it was doing things, as in the way that the war was described and everything, the brutalities and the rawness, and I loved that. However, some stuff's happened, so I will update you on everything now real quick. I've put here, every death is told to us in a blunt way which mimics war, and what I mean by this is it will literally have a paragraph of us meeting John and like reuniting with somebody that we knew in school, and then literally the next page it will say John was dead, or John is now dead, and then a literally a sentence of what his body looked like, and then we move on. Like, it's so brutal, but I like it. It's very realistic of war, and like how the soldiers would have like taken it on board and how they would have reacted to it. And I like that now this is how they're reacting, but in like the beginning, Gaunt and Elwood went to war for the first time, they both thought about the bodies a lot more, and they were very much like focused and fixated on the bodies and how they looked and everything, and the fact that this person was dead. I've also put that Gaunt and Elwood's forbidden love is written as though it was written back then. So for instance, Gaunt his character is very unable to process what he thinks, and the fact that he likes guys, he cannot process that and cannot even fathom the fact that maybe he likes all guys and not just Elwood, because he's had relations with other guys in the past and he can't even come to comprehend that. Anytime he does, he just loses it. Also, the other boys' views is spoken about a lot. There are other friends in boarding school, even though it was a very, in this book especially, it was shown that in boarding school there were like things happening between the guys. It was just forbidden to talk about. I've also put that the plot twists are really good, really enjoyable, and they're not romanticizing war, which I do appreciate. They are telling it, you know, it is the way it is and it's brutal. It's not a nice experience. There are times where you are just walking for miles on end. There is times when there are obviously battles and explosions and everything, but there is also the times where you are freezing to death and there is nothing to do and your boots are soaked through and your socks are wet and everything. Like, there's all that stuff happening as well. And I've said here examples, there's lice, rations, talk about smell, orders, missions being impossible, things that cannot be done, mental well-being, the trenches, brutal deaths, unexpected deaths, and there is also a big section on like PTSD and mainly shown to us through mainly bad dreams, and there are a few people who like are clearly shell-shocked, have clearly got shell shock or are shell shocked. I said it's also written very poetic. The shell shock is written reasonably well. I do like it. It could be a little bit better, but it's written reasonably well. However, the one thing I am struggling with right now, which is like becoming a main plot and it's really hard to read, is the prisoner of war camps. So we have gotten a character has ended up going to a prisoner of war camp. I have done my own research into prisoner of war camps for the British, and by this I mean the German war camps for British soldiers and the treatment that these soldiers would have experienced. And it was very brutal and harrowing and awful for people. Now, in this book, it's described as a boarding school dormitory, and the boys in this prisoner of war camp, I say the boys, by that I mean the boys that this person's been to school with, they all say that it's like very much like a dormitory, it's like boarding school, that the food's better and all this stuff. And the Germans, how they treat the prisoners, almost in like a nice way. And also the punishments for those who try to escape aren't really that bad. It's literally like solitary confinement for like a day, and like that is so unrealistic to what would have actually happened. So whereas this book was going to be heading up to like to the 4.5, I'm kind of knocking it down to a 4 automatically, because I really don't like when historical fiction books, if you're going to include historical fiction facts or just historical facts in general, I just don't like it when those facts are being completely dramatized or like being completely changed and forgotten. I really don't like that. So yeah, I'm a bit miffed at that bit, because it is just making it out that these prisoner of war camps were nothing and they're easy to live in, and that's just not the case at all. I'm gonna go read some more and read a little bit more tonight, probably read a lot more tomorrow, and then probably move back onto 5 Survive, and we shall see. Hello guys, I am back home. I wanted to talk to you quickly about the book that we were reading. So as I told you, I was reading In Memoriam, and it was going decently. Last time I think I updated you, I said that I wasn't a big fan of it because the prisoner of war camps were not exactly the most accurate as they were in history, but I finished it last night. When I got back before me and Sam went for our Valentine's meal, and I ended up rating it a 4 overall, which is a really great rating, you know, great great rating. I gave it a 4 because I did enjoy it. Let's start with that as a positive. I really did enjoy it. I thought that overall it wasn't the most perfect book, but I think it did very well with its historical elements, and a lot of the stuff was really like told well. So the things I enjoyed about this book were the ending. I didn't expect. I truly thought that it was going to be a really depressing ending that was like your typical like, oh my god, like tragic ending together. I really expected that, and the ending outcome actually really shocked me. I didn't expect it. It came out of the blue to me. Like, I really liked it, and I liked the whole setup for the ending. It was really nice. It was done very well. I also thought that like another thing I enjoyed was I thought the writing was done really well. Like, the writing of the romance was written as if it was back then, which I appreciated. A lot of the terms used for people who were gay were used things from back then, and they never used the word gay or anything. I also thought the writing of the trenches was done brilliantly. That's probably the best point of the book, was the trenches. And the reason I say that is because it was very clever and very poetic. First of all, when our characters first got to the trenches, it was very much like, what the hell is this world? Like, not used to the world that it is, and seeing people who have died and stuff. It really affected both Gorn and Elwood. However, when you got towards the end of them being in the trenches, they had this more of like flippant response to everything. So in the first section, it was like someone died, we'd fixate on it for like a whole page. Towards the end, it was like someone would die, and the phrasing would just be, let me think of a random name, like Craig is dead, and that would be it. So, and they would move on. They'd be like, it was a tragedy, moving on. And like, that's just how they wrote it, and I thought it was done really well. You know, I think it was written in a way that like came from the perspective of somebody who'd been in the war, like, and really like the toll it had taken on them mentally as well as physically. I also thought that both their storylines were brilliant. Elwood's character, both Elwood and Gaunt changed throughout the book. I mean, they both started off very strong in their personalities. Gaunt was very moody and very like pessimistic about life. He was a bit of a brute. And then you've got Elwood, who was very like sweet, loves life, always has a smart comment to say. And by the end, Elwood really had become like an introvert, and he really had like got shell shock sort of symptoms. He was really mentally struggling as well after the war to like adjust to life. And Gaunt had completely changed as well. Gaunt's like mindset on life had changed, and like his pessimism, is that a word? Pessimisticness? I don't know. His like negativity had completely changed, like his viewpoint on life. And also their friendship and relationship had changed as well. It's not the most perfectly accurate book, but it was enjoyable. Yeah, that is my little review on In Memoriam. I'm meant to be reading books that I have been putting off for ages, and Five Survive is one of them. It is meant to be one of the books that I've been putting off, struggling so bad. I've got to page 21 and I'm really not vibing with it. The main character Red is jumpy for no reason. I don't really understand why she's called Red either. There's not really been much happening. I feel like the main character as well is just like really not, I'm not vibing with her. I feel like she's just very jumpy all the time, and there's no actual reason behind her being jumpy. So I think I'm going to move on to something else and probably sell this, because I'm really not vibing with it, and I'm so shocked because I usually love Holly Jackson's writing. But I think I've also already read One Left or something like that by Frida McFadden, or One Left Behind or something. I don't know what it's called, I can't remember, which has a very similar premise where you're in an RV, breaks down in the middle of nowhere, someone's out to get one of you, who is it? And like someone's like killing you off. Same premise. This book is exactly the same. Don't know which one came out first, I have no idea, but I've already read one like that, and this one just isn't really, it's not hitting the spot for me, if you know what I mean. So I'm thinking, I'm looking through the stuff I've got up here, and I'm stuck between two books in all honesty. So I've got The Ministry of Time, which I've been putting off forever since I got it. I've always been like, oh, maybe next month, and never actually picked it up. And I've also got Ruin Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo, which is the last book in the Shadow and Bone series, which I have been putting off forever. I'm kind of edging towards Ruin and Rising because I've been really wanting to read that since I finished Siege and Storm, which was a good few months ago, and I never picked it up. I don't know why. It's on my shelf. I got 10 pages in and then just stopped reading it. So I think I'm going to do Ruin and Rising and see how I find it. I'm going to finally pick it up and hopefully read a good chunk today. Definitely made the right choice. I've literally read 5 pages because I've restarted the book because I can't really remember much, but I'm literally 5 pages in, already loving it, and I'm like, oh my god, I want to read more. Just want to also say quickly, of course I went and bought more books. So I bought 3 books. I bought Ali Hazelwood's Deep End, and this is like a romance. I also bought Till Death, which is a new one. I've never heard of this author before, but this is like to do with me reading from authors that I've never heard of before. And then the last one is Onyx Storm, of course. In one night of reading this, not even kidding, literally from the moment I told you yesterday was when I started reading this. I have read so much. Look at all this. I'm at page 126. That is so good. Like, oh my god, I've been putting off reading this book for ages, and then the minute I start reading it, I'm just flying through it. Pick up books that you've been putting off, guys. Like, you will not be disappointed. It's been a couple days since I last updated you on the book. I don't actually know if I said anything about the book. I think I just kind of told you I was reading it and said that I was enjoying it. So I'm actually really far into it. Like, I've got less than 100 pages left. I'm so happy. I'm at page 262, and this is how far in I am. I've got this little chunk here, which I'm hopefully going to finish tonight and tomorrow. And man, I'm loving this book so much. This book is the last book in the trilogy of Shadow and Bone series by Leigh Bardugo, and I love her stuff. I think it's so good, and this book is brilliant. So the first book was decent, and it's all fantasy, by the way. The first book was decent, the second book was really good, and then this book is just like different level. Like, I'm really liking it. I feel like this has got the best pacing out of all of them. The pacing is just, it flows so well, and I feel like it works really well, basically. So this is all set in this world called the Grishaverse, and the Grishaverse is basically this world in which got a different map, obviously, to the world as it is now, but it's very fantasy. Like, I wouldn't say it's light fantasy, like, it's very heavy fantasy, and it's a world that you definitely get immersed into. So this is the map. This is how it looks. It's really good, easy to follow. I feel like with high fantasy, I feel like you can get lost very quickly, and I do all the time. I'm always like, the hell are we on about right now? But I'm not lost. I'm so into it. I'm really, really loving it right now. So I feel like, without revealing things to you, I feel like the action is really good right now. I think the character development is great. One of my favourite things about this book is the banter. Like, these characters have such good banter between them, and their jokes and things you can feel like they know each other, and I like that. I think that's really like good writing. But their jokes and their banter is funny, the humour is there is seriousness to the book. A lot of things are getting uncovered in this book, and I love the way they're getting uncovered and revealed. It's so good, and I'm very impressed. I'm very happy that I picked up this book because I've been putting it off for so long. I don't know why, but I finally read it solely because of this video. I will do a full update tomorrow, but I just finished it. It's currently 1:10 in the morning, and such a disappointing ending. It was all set up so well, and the reveals were amazing, and then the actual big fight happened. It was so underwhelming. Like, honestly, nothing happened. There was no real fighting, really. It lasted like 5 minutes. Also, throughout the book, the Darkling wasn't really in it at all, even though he's like meant to be the villain. It was just a bit strange. He wasn't really present. He came into the book 3 times, and that was it. The ending was disappointing. The epilogue, way too long. Like, everything had finished, and we still had like 25 pages of just boring blah. Of course, it is time for an update in Liv's car. It's like a reoccurring, a what? a regular reoccurrence. I constantly do my updates in the car when I'm on the way to places because I just like chatting, and may as well just get out my thoughts to you. So I really do think that Ruin and Rising was a really good book for 75%. 75%, it was a 4.5 star through and through. And then the big twist ending and the ending in general that we've been waiting for. I know my hands are different colour to my face. I'm getting a tattoo done and I've like taken my tan off. The big reveal and the big ending that we've been waiting for this whole series, these whole 3 books, it just felt like such a waste and such like a, really? That's the route we went down? I felt that the characters, the best thing about the book was the characters. The character development throughout was amazing. The banter, the vibes between them, it was just so good. I really enjoyed it. The things that I didn't enjoy, as I said, the plot twist was not very good. I didn't like the ending. I thought the epilogue did not, or the prologue? The ending bit, the epilogue, I think, that did not need to be 25 pages of nothing. It was really boring. And spoiler alert, she will tell you now, spoiler alert if you're wanting to read the Shadow and Bone 3-book trilogy. She can tell you now, spoiler alert. I do not need to see another bloody marriage scene. It's boring. I really can't stand it when it's like, yay, and they got married. Like, no. So, wasn't happy with that. I gave it 3.5 as I said, but we move on. I have now started another book. So this video is gonna go up quite a bit later than I was expecting, but I've got another book I've started. So I've started The Murder After the Night Before, which is a book that I've really wanted to start for ages, and it's so good. It's such a good book so far. So Murder After the Night Before, it's meant to be this girl wakes up and she's got a stranger in her bed. She's got a really bad hangover. Something's happened online where she's embarrassed herself and everyone's like texting her. She's like got 500 Twitter notifications and her best friend's dead. Everyone's saying that it was an accident and she knows it wasn't, but she can't remember the night before. She can't remember anything. So it's a really, really good story right now. And you know, I know it's a good story because I've just sat in one sitting. In one sitting, I have read 97 pages, and that's unheard of for Liv. Liv does like 10 pages at once. I'm thinking I'm probably gonna try and finish it tomorrow. Is that a bit ambitious? Like, I don't know. It's like 320 pages altogether. I'm at page 97 right now. I do intend to get to page 150 tonight, potentially, maybe, we'll see. But I'm really enjoying it. And also Katie Brent's writing, who is the author of it, it's just so easy to read. And she's British, which makes it even better. The banter is just hilarious. It's time for an update. I have changed the setting on my phone. By the way, I film on my phone, but I've changed it to cinematic. So please tell me if it's better or worse or whatever, because I'm interested. I usually, what's that noise? Not the indicator, something behind me, I think. I usually just film regular videos, but and I usually use regular if I'm doing like a vlog style, but I low-key think I might start doing cinematic more because it like focuses on me more, the quality's better, and it blurs out the background, which like just makes the focus look a lot better and it focuses better and the picture quality looks decent. So I might start doing that more often. Depends if you guys like it or not. I am once again in my car whilst I update you guys, because that's just when I remember to update you guys, and I'm like, oh right, let's talk to you real quick. Yesterday I told you I wanted to get to page 150 in that book, which is The Murder After the Night Before. I'm at page 240 right now. Good book, I'm really enjoying it. It's definitely like a mystery book and I'm really enjoying it. So our main character, as you know from the back, is trying to find out what happened to Posey, and she believes that she was murdered. There's so many like links in this book to each other. So we've got like a neighbour who had like an affair with somebody. We've got like a missing persons case that was never solved. Posey was interested in. Posey was a journalist, so who was she ticked off with all her interviews? Posey had like a secret life going on. What are the secrets going on? Like, there's so much and it's so interesting. And there's so many twists and turns. But as I said, I'm at page 240. Definitely gonna finish it today. Like, I'm probably just gonna sit and finish it now whilst I eat my lunch. So good, it's really, really good. And I'm just really invested. And you've got like, obviously as well, something has happened to our main character. She's done something that's been recorded and put online. It's like ruining her life. So she's also trying to grieve like that and like process what's happened to her, and it's a lot. So it's really enjoyable though, really enjoying it. It's written very well. I mean, I always trust Katie. I think it's Katie Brent who wrote this book. I really like Katie Brent's writing. I think it's really good. I think that she manages to capture British humour and banter really well. Man, I really don't know what it is with my luck and reading books, but I enjoy books so much. I enjoy like the whole middle bit and like the whole 75% of the book really. And the ending lets me down. I was really enjoying Murder After the Night Before. Look how white my hand is. This is why I hate tan. I really enjoyed the Murder After the Night Before. I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed Katie Brent's writing. But like last time when I read Katie Brent's writing, the ending lets me down. She always goes really far-fetched with her endings, and they're always like really out there, like really out there. And I'm always kind of just taken aback by how crazy they are. And that is exactly what happened with this. I was like, huh? And then the very ending, there was like a big plot twist, an extra plot twist thing. And even that, I was like, that was a waste of time. So I did end up giving this book a 3.5, and I did enjoy it. Like, I really did like it. It's just the ending that really let me down. Like the same as Ruin and Rising. Really loved the book, ending let me down. But I'm glad I picked up the books. I'm glad I finally got them read because they were on my shelf for ages, and I did find enjoyment in the books. So yes, thank you guys for watching. I don't know. I will see you guys soon with another video. I'm really sorry this video was up a bit later, but I wanted to add a few extra books in because it took me a little while to read In Memoriam. I was really trying to process everything in the book, but I wanted to read some more books in this video anyway. But yeah, that's why it took a bit longer. But I'll see you guys soon with another video. Any video ideas you have, tell me down below. Any videos you want me to do, I will definitely give a go. Put them down below in the comments. Yeah, that's everything. Subscribe, like, and do all that stuff. Follow me on Instagram if you wish. I always link it at the end of my videos. Well, I put it on the screen and in the description. I always link it. So I'll see you guys soon in another video. Subscribe, like, and do all that stuff, and I will see you guys soon.